Hi, I'm Victor Yongwei, metric number AF200134. We are from Group 7, Section 3, Highway Engineering. We are going to discuss the Pci test on Lebor SPA, Sungai Udang, Melaka.
My name is Lim Si Hui. 1.0 Introductions. Pavement decisions are classified into two types. One is functional failures, and another is structural failure. Inside the structural failure, in the fixable pavements can occur as a result of fatigues, consolidations, and shears. To prevent deteriorations caused by repetitive traffic loading, environment factors, road pavement requires ongoing maintenance and rehabilitations. Occurrence of the pavement structure or the breakdown of one or more components of the pavement of such magnitude that the pavements become incapable of sustaining the loads imposed on its surface is considered structural failure. In cases, most of the time, does have one failure. PCI, it ranks 0 until 100 is calculated once a year. Some of use and benefit of PCI is identify the need for immediate route repairs, developing route networks, developing preventive maintenance strategy and budgets, and the last one is evaluating pavement material and design. In this research, the route we choose is Jalan Lembor SPA Sungai Undang. It is flexible route and it located at the Sungai Undang, Melaka. It has failure in 1 kilometer when the starting point is we put at the red button. The objective of this report are as follows: to investigate the traffic failures of the flexible pavement of the Jalan Lembor SPA Sungai Undang, to investigate the pavement condition index of the Jalan Lembor SPA Sungai Undang, and to investigate the suitable of maintenance or rehabilitation method to improve PCI.
Hi everyone, I'm Tan Min Kai. Today I will continue to present the literature review. There is no dispute that the route is the core of the economic pulse. With advancements of route, the vehicle occupancy to increase gradually. Based on the Malaysia transportation statistic, the number of vehicles increased 5% annually. According to another report in 2018, there has 1,254,839 vehicles registered in Sabah, Malaysia, according to Ministry of Transportation 2018. Unintentionally, the route facilities were facing an encounter failure more frequently and rapidly as the loading of traffic volume kept increasing but lacking of degree of maintenance. Indirectly, the number of accident cases in Malaysia will increase drastically. There has 3,118 deaths for motorcycle drivers in 2020 and 888 deaths for car drivers in 2020. Next, we continue to Pavement Condition Index. The Pavement Condition Index (PCI) method was developed originally by the Construction Engineering Research Laboratory of U.S. Army Corps of Engineers as an airfield pavement rating system. The PCI is also defined as a numerical indicator based on the inspection of various distress types affecting the route pavement surface. The corresponding quantity and severity are recorded as well as identified on specific survey data sheet reported in American Society of Testing and Materials D643316 for each distress. For each distress measure, the deduct value are depending upon the nature of the distress. Its quantity and severity, the deduct value are a sum, adjusted to take into account the total number of distress identified, and then subtract from 100 to given PCI index for the pavement. The ASTM has divided the PCI into 7 classes, that is good, satisfactory, fair, poor, very poor, serious, and fail. Each standard PCI rating scales will having different maintenance activities, that is routine maintenance, preventive maintenance, rehabilitation, major rehabilitation or deferred action, and reconstruction. Next, we proceed to different types of pavement distress. The first type of distress is the potholes. The pothole is a bowl-shaped cavity in the pavement surface, and it is formed due to the loss of wearing course and binder course material. Next is alligator cracks. Alligator cracks, or fatigue cracking, is a series of interconnecting cracks caused by fatigue failure of the asphalt concrete surface under repeated traffic loading. We continue to patch. Patch is a repair section of pavement where a portion of the pavement surface has been removed and replaced. It may not be associated with either a loss of serviceability. And then we have longitudinal cracks. Longitudinal cracks form parallel to the center line of the road pavement due to the asphalt layer shrinkage, poor constructed paving joint, and the cracks formed from an underlaying layer. Besides that, we have bleeding. Bleeding occurs when a film of asphalt binder appears on the road surface. Insufficient air void is one of the causes of the bleeding. Not only that, we have block cracks. Block cracks look like square-shaped cracks or giant rectangular in pavement. Normally, it is caused by shrinkage of asphalt pavement due to inability of asphalt binder to contract as well as expand with the temperature cycle. Next is corrugation. Corrugation is the formation of ripples of waves on a flexible pavement normally perpendicular to the traffic flow. Lastly is the shoulder drop-off. A shoulder pavement edge drop-off refers to a defect of road geometry where the elevation change vertical distance between shoulder and the side of the road. That's all from me. I will pass to my teammate. Thank you.
3.0 methodology. The pavement manager system used to evaluate and maintain road sections was developed for the purpose of evaluations and policy formulations. The traffic category was determined using the information in this manual, and the pavement design index was calculated using the traffic category and route classifications. The pavement load carrying capacity was calculated using the pavement design index and CBR. The procedure of PCI: inspect the sample unit, determine the type of distress and severity level, and their calculation the density. Determine the highest deduct value, HDF, and the maximum enrollment number of deducts using the formula. Place the deduct value in descending order. The DDV is calculated by adding all individual deducts value together. Once the DDV is computed, the correction curve can be used to calculate the corrected deduct value. If any individual deduct value is greater than the CDV, when determining the CDV is set equal to the higher individual deduct value. The PCI is calculated using the formula PCI equals to 100 minus CDV. Compare the root conditions.
Hi, my name is Victor. Metric number is AF200134. Now, we are going to discuss about the result that obtained from the PCI test and discussions on maintenance that shall be done on the road.
Hi, my name is Yicheng. My matrix number is AF200168. Now, I would like to present the result of our project. First of all, PCI method is used to determine the distress level of the road, which located at Jalan Lebur Spar, Sungai Udang, Melaka, Malaysia. A 1 kilometer road was divided into 15 samples in section, and 7 samples unit to be inspected. Next, the sampling interval is 2.14 and then round off to 2. Hence, sample units to be inspected are 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, and 15. From the satellite in Google, it shows that there is no distress in samples 1 and 3 of the pavement section, while the distress that we found in sample 5 is alligator cracking, block cracking, longitudinal transverse cracking, and patching. The PCI value is about 17.6 and it requires for a reconstruction. The distress found in sample 7 are alligator cracking, bleeding, corrugation, longitudinal transverse cracking, patching, and potholes. Sample 7 shows only 7.2 of PCI value and require for reconstruction. For sample 9, there are only bleeding, block cracking, and longitudinal transverse cracking can be found in the section. The PCI value is about 86.0 and only required for routine maintenance, while the distress can be found in sample 11, which are alligator cracking, bleeding, and longitudinal transverse cracking. The PCI value is about 58.8 and it is required for rehabilitation. Besides that, the distress can be found in sample 13 are alligator cracking, bleeding, block cracking, land or shoulder drop-off, and longitudinal transverse cracking. The PCI value of sample 13 is about 50.4 and it is required for a major rehabilitation or defer action. Lastly, for sample 15, there are alligator cracking, bleeding, block cracking, corrugation, land or shoulder drop-off, and longitudinal transverse cracking. The PCI value is about 44.4 and it is required for a major rehabilitation or defer action. That's all from me. Thank you.
According to the PCI skills, the maintenance activities are such as routine maintenance, preventive maintenance, rehabilitations, major rehabilitations, and reconstructions. Maintenance activities can be divided into maintenance, rehabilitations, and reconstructions. Maintenance is a technique to prolong the pavement life. Rehabilitation is to decrease the deteriorate process, while reconstruction is to rebuild the root with fresh material. Commonly, the maintenance can be divided into routine maintenance and preventive maintenance. Based on JKR, it can be divided into three, which are the routine maintenance, periodic maintenance, and emergency works. There are two methods to construct the rehabilitations maintenance. They are conventional methods and recycling methods. The methods of rehabilitations depends on the defect of the root. The defect of the root can be categorized into two categories, which are the functional defect and the structural defect. The functional defect consists of the surface of the root, while the structural defect included the whole structure of the root. Reconstruction can be divided into two categories, which is full depth reconstructions and partial depth reconstruction. Full depth reconstruction included the subgrade of the root, while the partial depth does not include the subgrade of the root. Routine maintenance is needed to be done on sample 9 to maintain the road conditions. For instance, patching, crack sealing, edge repair, routine inspections, and rut treatment can be done to prolong the usage of the root. Rehabilitation maintenance is suitable to be used in sample 11, 13, and 50. Bleeding can be cured by using the surface treatment. The surface treatment such as chip seal can increase the roughness of the root. The thin overlay is suitable to cure the alligator cracking. For the cracking that is terrible, the section of the root can be maintained by using the mill and pave. The maintenance activities for sample 5 and 7 is reconstruction. Reconstruction indicates that the available root is rebuilt, with the new specification is required on the root. It is rebuilt by using the fresh materials such as asphalt binder and aggregate.
Salam sejahtera to Dr. Hidayah. My name is Kemingju Anakinhua Mude, matrix number AF200118. So now I'll proceeding to a conclusion part. So in a nutshell, as we know, the applications of pavement condition index method, which is PCI methods that being used in this project, is definitely an important method to determine the overall conditions of the pavement based on the pavement condition index value for each selected pavement that undergo the road survey along the 1 km road in Lebus Bar, Sungai Udang, Melaka. So by doing the road survey on Google Map, we can determine the typical or common failures of the flexible pavement in this study area, which are the potholes, alligator cracks, page, longitudinal cracks, bleeding, block cracks, corrugations, and also the shoulder drop-off. Next, let's moving on. The selected pavement in this research is considered as an essential part or road for the pavement user, especially the resident who live nearby the study area in Lebu Spa, Sungai Udang. Therefore, a well-maintained pavement is a must to ensure the safety of the pavement users to pass through the roads in Lebu Spa, Sungai Udang safely, as well as to prevent and also reduce any accidents happens along this pavement in future. Last but not least, the JKR should take the responsibility in having the road survey regularly in order to check and also investigate if there is any district on the selected road which might need to undergo for further maintenance activities based on the pavement condition index value that being found and calculated for the selected roads. That's all from me. Thank you.
That's all for our group presentations. Thank you for lending me your ears.